Well, hello there, and welcome to that Fantasy American Football podcast with myself, the Commish, and my two hot to trot co-hosts, the Statman and the Fantasy Villain. How are you doing today, lads?
Hey, Commish. Yeah, doing all right, actually. I'm still trying to recover from our super mega best ball draft that we did. I came last. I did the worst draft, which is just astonishing that should happen.
I don't know if we should tell that to the listeners who are coming to us for fantasy advice.
I know. I can't understand it.
You've walked a mile in their shoes.
That's what it is. I now know what not to do, which is ideal for today's show, I think.
Villain, how are you? How are you doing today? It's been wet, it's been windy, it's been all kinds of weather, but you've got new jobs on the horizon, football's coming to town. Overall, you feeling good?
Feeling pretty good. I am the man to talk to about best ball with my second best draft overall.
Second best. Just the first loser, that man. It's just the first loser.
Yeah, better than being the loser.
Yeah. The 12th loser. My God.
Exactly.
What's that about?
And I will be passing on my wisdom today, mainly distracting yourself so that you don't overthink during the draft.
Go and do the cleaning. Go and do some dusting. Be Mary Poppins, and then come back and just press a button every now and then.
I got the room ready, washed the towels, folded them on the bed, left them in, and football never came home.
It didn't, did it?
No, of all the things.
Fucked off to Rome.
Apparently,
never came home.
Apparently, it's very inappropriate when you're at a call at the work the next day and somebody on the other line of the phone, one of your clients, tells you, "Oh yeah, we stayed up and my daughter was in tears at the end of the game." It's not appropriate to laugh at that moment.
I've been that daughter.
I did say to them afterwards, I had flashbacks of my younger brother watching Gareth Southgate miss and having to take time off school. But as somebody who has never supported England in any sporting achievement ever, I was enjoying the spectacle. We won't talk about the aftermath, but they can go fuck themselves. But yeah, the whole thing, like, I was enjoying it. I mean, as an Irish supporter, we haven't had anything to cheer about since 1994. So
there's always the rugby.
There's always the rugby, and that doesn't even go well most of the time. But yes, so today is going to be a best ball mock draft. The reason we're doing best ball mock drafts, I will explain a little bit later. But before we do that, a quick reminder to follow us on Twitter at TFAFP. Console the Statman on his awful best ball draft. On Instagram via that FAF podcast. Let the villain know ask him what it feels like to be awesome. And then make sure you give us a subscribe on the podcast. Good. So, yeah, good. The podcast service of choice, whether you're on Spotify or iTunes or Google, give us a review, do us a subscribe, really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, click the bell. We're currently in limbo as to whether or not we continue YouTubing, so views and support will mean a lot and make it worth all the time I spend editing. But before we head into our best ball mock draft, let's check in on some news. I'm having some real audio issues at the moment, but hopefully that doesn't sound bad to anyone listening at home.
Sounded great to me.
So 2 bits of news. First of all, Hard Knocks has been selected. It is going to be Dallas. I can't wait to see Mick McCarthy in full flow giving those pearls.
Good old Mick.
The pearls of wisdom. When I was at Ipswich, this is how we did things. Long ball, lads, long ball. It's a game of 90 minutes, game of oh, wait a second. It's not? Oh, dear. To see... I don't
You're hoping for like a reverse Ted Lasso.
Yeah, reverse Ted Lasso of Mick McCarthy. I think it's actually a genuinely interesting one because anyone who watched the All or Nothing with the Cowboys know that it's impossible for Jerry Jones to not represent himself as a Bond villain. So, like, add that to Leif Schreiber's overtones in the narration and the music, and it's just going to be him with a cat going, "Oh, you want a contract extension, Zeke? Well, we'll see if you get a contract extension."
I just want to see what Dak Prescott's been spending his money on. That's what I want to see. Like, he just shows up and he's like on a gold horse in a gold carriage. It's like, I made the horse gold.
It's a man feeling the pressure, but having the money is Dak Prescott. Here we see him in his solid gold Benz. And he's just got out, he's put on these solid gold shoes. Solid gold Campbell's soup. Campbell's.
The meaty one.
Yeah. I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, Hard Knocks is fluff. You don't get anything for fantasy from it. Don't pretend you do, which is going to lead us to my next point in a second. But Statman, are you excited for it? I know you're more of an all or nothing than a Hard Knocks. Anyway.
I am. I like all or nothing, particularly fantasy-wise. I like all or nothing because it does zoom in onto. You get right into what the team did last year. It reminds you about some of the players, and you can kind of pick out maybe someone you think, actually, you know what, he's got a chance for a bit of a breakout sleeper kind of guy there. You don't get that from Hard Knocks. Although, when I think back to last year, how well Herbert performed once he came in, it was like, do you know what? We saw some things, that episode where he was like, other than his hair, but actually when he was doing some of those throws, you were like, oh, there's something about this kid. He's not that bad. You wonder whether it's just for TV, but it was like, oh, okay, yeah. Now I see it.
I got sucked into the RB hype. So when Austin Eckler got injured, I did genuinely think there was going to be some RB hype at the Chargers. I don't know. I get sucked into it. This year, I'm going to avoid the hype. So in terms of the rest of the news, we know there's loads of hype out there. But the next bit of news is basically don't listen to the hype. The stuff coming from The Athletic, from ESPN, from beat reporters, it's just because they need something to talk about. They don't know if Javonte Williams is number one, do they?
Yeah, they don't know that.
I mean, Matt Nagy coming out and saying he wants to give David Montgomery 20 carries a game, I mean, does moisten my loins. But I'm not really about this until I see it in action, because who's the quarterback? What's going on? Ignore it. Do not get carried away unless you're playing best ball, because best ball is where you get to jump in on the hype and take a punt. So for the UK listeners who may not have played best ball, because it is fairly new to the UK, it's only really been with the fact that Sleeper have now introduced it this year, because it used to be on a lot of betting platforms, international betting elements, and daily fantasy football was pretty restricted in the UK. DraftKings are over in the UK and doing a lot more this year, so there's going to be a lot of daily fantasy happening this year. But this is the first time I've seen Sleeper on a best ball on a UK accessible platform. I used to play it a lot via VPNs with some of the other commissions that I know in the States, in what can only be described as the nerdiest community that's ever existed. So what Best Ball is Best Ball is a set it and forget it draft-based format of fantasy football. You do a draft, you select your team, you select quite a few players, you leave it alone, and every week the computer basically puts in the best players in the system. You can play it in multiple formats. We are playing in a 20-player PPR free flex, 2 wide receiver, 2 RB, 1 QB league. That's what we're doing. That's what I've always played in traditionally. It's good and it's bad because it basically grades your draft skills. But you do it early in the season, so some people could completely be cut from teams before you start. But it's also nice if you have screwed yourself over. It saves you from yourself. So I fully recommend anyone who's listening to this, go into as many best ball leagues as you want, because you're basically doing mock drafts that count. And you get to kind of place your bets on players. So we're going to do a best ball mock draft. And to do that, I need to share the best ball mock draft screen with you all. Ta-da! Fabulous that was.
There it is.
So we have done a randomizer and we are going to draft as a team, and they have given us the shittest position in any draft. So it's actually it's a really good one to do a mock draft around, because 7, there's a lot of questions going either way as to who you're going to draft at 7, because the top 5 are pretty recognized. So we're going
to have an argument off the bat, like first pick. We're going to get into an argument. I think a heated debate.
Come on.
The biggest argument at the moment is I can't. There we go.
You can't start.
Couldn't click the start button.
Draft. Dalvin Cook went number 1.
Yeah,
McCaffrey fourth.
I'm seeing that happen a lot in best ball. So we are on the clock. It has gone. Cook, Kamara, Derek Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor. Lot of RBs going off the board, which you expect in this scenario. I'm just going to hide the floating meeting controls. Thank you very much. And I'm going to pause the draft there because I don't think we're going to do it in 1 minute and 36 seconds for the first pick. So on the board, we have Zeke, Hill, Chubb, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce. That's really my cutoff point there in a turnaround. Do we want to be early in on Travis Kelce? Do we want to take an RB? Or do we want to take the first wide receiver off the board? Personally, I'm leaning on the side of a running back here. Villa and Statman both going for running back. Okay, in that case,
they die really quickly, so I think that cuts us down to 2 of those players, doesn't it? I know which one I would prefer.
I would say 3, but I know we've got to go for the other 2. I would put Austin Eckler up there. I don't like Chubba.
Don't you? You don't like Chubb?
I do not like Chubb. I do not like someone who's been told from day one, you're sharing this backfield. I don't care how good they are. So I'm out on Chubb. I'm in on Zeke, and I'm in on Austin Eckler, especially in best ball. Villain?
Yeah, I'm in on Zeke. I'm thinking Zeke. He's got a comeback year. He's got Dak back this year. I think that was a huge issue last year. I'm going Zeke.
I would go Zeke. Statman, who were you going to argue for?
I would have taken Chubb, personally, just through the fact that I think there will be enough volume for him that it doesn't matter. He was already a top 10 running back last year, even with
I think the compromise is later on. Maybe we'll get a swing.
Maybe. I would have taken Chubb. I don't disagree with Zeke. I think Zeke could have a bit of a comeback season if the Dallas O does what the Dallas O we expect it to do. So, yeah.
Cool. So Zeke's, and then Chubb went next. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Austin Eckler, DK Metcalf is the first in the second round. Aaron Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Brown, and Pat Mahomes.
I can't believe he's not coming.
Yeah, so in that case, I think this is as obvious as can be, because on the board, we still have who I think is potentially the wide receiver 1 for the year, Stephon Diggs. So we're just talking strategy here, though. If we take Diggs, we lose out on another potential RB1 because we won't be able to get Akers. We won't be able to get Dobbins. We won't be able to get Najee, Antonio Gibson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Is any of those tempting enough to say pivot from Diggs and pick up someone later on? Or is it worth, in best ball, remember, securing a guaranteed wide receiver 1 or taking some punts further down the line on all those wide receivers who might have a wide receiver 1 game?
Dylan, what do you think?
I think that the tier gap between Stephon Diggs and we're not even going to mention Joe Mixon. Let's not talk about him. But the other RBs available, I think he's just that quality of player. You got to go for him. And later down the line, there's so many teams that are having RB battles before the start of the season. You could take a risk on a rookie or a guy that's gone to a new team that could end up stealing the show. Someone like Kenyon Drake, you could get in a lot later round than you'd ever intended. And Josh Jacobs could shit the bed. He didn't do great last year, you know.
I'm excited.
You're excited.
This is what
I like what's happened there. I like what's happened.
So just anyone listening, it went after us. Joe Mixon went next. Poor sod. Got Jonathan Taylor and Joe Mixon. This seems bad. Then Cam Akers, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, J.K. Dobbins, and George Kittle to close out the second round. Coming back in the third round, Michael Thomas, Antonio Gibson, Darren Waller, Najee Harris, who I would have really liked to have fallen to us. Swift, McLaurin. That means Clyde Edwards-Helaire is still on the board, and I think in best ball, he's got a chance of having some absolutely monstrous games. He's just got that soussaint of potential that I like, without the risk of me benching him on the week that he does good. There's a couple of other players like that. I don't know if I'm as confident in Clyde Edwards-Helaire in redraft, but in best ball,
yeah, he's gonna have a few little corkers, I think. So yeah, it's gonna. And if we can get some kind of stack in there with some other Chiefs, then we might be laughing as well. But yeah.
So it's worth mentioning the wide receivers: Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, Julio Jones, and Mike Evans probably won't come back to us. We're losing out on quarterbacks, but who gives two poops? And we will most likely lose out on Josh Jacobs. Don't care. Miles Sanders. Don't care. We might get lucky, and Chris Carson or David Montgomery could come back to us. But it's looking like this will be our last kind of top
got a shout at Chris Godwin coming back to us, probably someone like that as a receiver. If you want to go two running back to receiver, we'll see what happens. But yeah,
I
think it's a good
Clyde. So take Clyde and cross our fingers that maybe one of the other running backs does come back to us.
No,
is it Monty?
Yes.
Oh, I hate it. I
am all over him right now.
So,
Cole Pitts.
So that's the thing. So there is a debate at this stage. So my gut, I am all in on two players that I'm all in on at this point, and I will admit this now and hope nobody listens to this by the time we get to redraft. I'm all in on David Montgomery. And my God, do I have a big old chubber in my pants for Damian Harris at the moment. Like, I need to stop reading.
Yeah, he's a while to wait for him.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, so this could lock us down. 3 RB1s in best ball. Let best ball work it out, because maybe the rest of the wide receivers will fill the gaps. We need to get another running back later, but there's a couple of kind of late round ones that show. But we would miss out on the villains, baby. We wouldn't get Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, but you know what? It's with best ball, it's all about filling the positions as best that you can. And like, if you can have at least one, if not two of your flex positions filled with an RB1, as much as I dislike David Montgomery. In fact, I dislike Zeke, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and David Montgomery in terms of like, if that was my running back group, I'd be furious in a redraft. I just know that every week would be so stressful, like so stressful. But I think you're right in best ball, where it's like hit it and quit it. Let's go, David Montgomery.
I think David Montgomery's your dirty little secret, eh, villain?
Check that one.
I promise you, I won't be going for it on redraft. Oh, you haven't clicked it.
No, he doesn't want me to. But yeah, so before David Montgomery, which we took, Allen Robinson went, Keenan Allen, Miles Sanders, Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Chris Carson, Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, Travis Etienne, and then we took David Montgomery.
And I want here.
Well, I'm going to ask you who you want there, but was there anyone else that we missed between Clyde and David Montgomery that you would have preferred to fall back to us? Would you have preferred to see Etienne? Would you have preferred to see Chris Carson? Or
Chris Carson.
Yeah, well, you just like the fact that you could grate cheese on that boy, don't you?
Yeah, well, I reached up for Chris Carson because I believe this is Chris Carson's. This is the year he needs a big year to stay in Seattle, or he needs a big year to get a contract elsewhere, but he needs it this year.
Best ball bet: Monty versus Christopher Carson.
Yeah, let me get this in the book.
Put it in the book.
That one, yeah.
We'll think of some penalties, but I'm all in on David Montgomery. So in on him. So after
which side are you falling on, Statman? Are you just going to watch the
conscientious objector?
No, out of those two, I'm definitely on Monty. I think he's less injury prone. No, I've said it. I've done it now, haven't I? He's less injury prone.
Cheers for that, Statman.
Yeah, I've got it myself in best ball. I think Montgomery is seen more action. I think in the as a PPR target as well than you would get with Carson. Carson can catch it, but they don't throw to the running back very often.
All right, guys. If Monty gets more points in best ball than Chris Carson, I will perform the "See My Vest" song and dance from The Simpsons.
Full. I will. I will go the other way then, and on the opening podcast, I will do. What do you want? Would you prefer the Planet of the Apes musical, or would you prefer Monorail?
No, I think you have to do something related to car. You have to do "Baby Get in My Car."
Now I see what you're doing.
Yeah, Monty Montgomery. Yeah.
God.
Come on now. It'll be my vest made of real Chicago Bear chest.
Oh, lovely. We'll work it out. We'll post it on the socials. But, okay, after Monty went off, Chris Godwin went, Lamar Jackson, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, so 2 Rams back-to-back, then Russell Wilson, and then baby Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. Then Kareem Hunt, which disappointed, but not really because of what we got for the running back room. Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Mark Andrews, DJ Moore, Kenny Golladay, and now it's back to us. I have one person that I would be set in stone on, but I want to hear because the stat man who said he was on to someone. Who did you want?
All over getting CD player on there. Get the old CD Lamb in there as our wide receiver too.
That's not my guy.
He's going to have a fantastic season.
Villain, who would your guy be?
Tyler Lockett.
That's where I was going. Best ball. Tyler Lockett is an absolute nightmare in redraft. Because he's so boom or bust. But in best ball, Tyler Lockett wins you a week. Yeah, Tyler Lockett wins you a week. That's what I would say. But I am happy to turn. I am already happy enough. I got David Montgomery. I
think CD's going to give us a little bit more consistency because you do need the odd consistent one in there.
We've got Diggs for consistency, though.
I think you can hit the middle rounds for our sort of boom bust players. So I think a couple of consistent starters and then hit your boom bust around the top. That's how I think. Go. But then I've got the worst. I've got the worst draft though. So don't listen to what I said.
I think the stat man's a cowboy.
Yeah. He wants Zeke. He wants CD Lamb. I mean, is that?
I bet Dak's looking pretty tempting for you as well.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to draft Michael Gallup.
Let's do it.
Okay, I would go Tyler Lockett, but I'm willing to secede this pick to you, Statman, and we'll see.
Go on. Let's have CD Lamb. Let's see what happens.
Woo-hoo.
I don't like it. I want Tyler Lockett. Everyone.
You don't like it. You love it.
Okay, so then Adam Thielen's gone, Robinson's gone, Juju's gone, Devon Smith goes, Myles Gaskin goes. Sorry about that villain. Ayuk, OBJ. Oh, we were so close.
He nearly came back.
Oh, I hate that.
So, because we lost out on Tyler Lockett, could I tell you about this unknown player called DJ Chuck? No, I'm joking. Oh, the head shake there.
Wow.
We've got 2 options at this point. We secure another running back and make that kind of a set 4, because I'll be honest, in best ball, Fournette looks tasty, so does Javonte Williams to me. Even Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert, all 4 of those I'd consider. But we do have some options with T. Higgins, who I know the Statman is big on, and Deontay Johnson, who is almost feels like a Tyler Lockett light to me.
Yeah, I like him. That's the 2 options I'd go for. I'd go big on receivers now and try and pick up a running back later on, I think. But I like your Damien Harris shout for probably another round or 2's time.
I think he's got like 3 rounds till we need to get him. So round 6 wide receiver for Deontay Johnson. Is that what
I think that's a great shout?
Over T. Higgins?
Yeah. I think Johnson should get more targets. Should.
It's best ball. Fuck it. Let's go. Oh, that's looking tasty.
Oh, the chart's gone. Look, there you go. He didn't come back to us.
Herbs. Interesting enough, Javonte Williams goes before Melvin Gordon. The way it should be.
Oh, T. Higgins, has he come back?
Higgins. Oh, it's a debate now though, because I've got three players I really like. There's T. Higgins there, but I do like Chase Edmonds in best ball. But I think we could probably get James Conner and still potentially get some value later on.
Yeah.
But Rojo in best ball for those days that he does do a 95-yard run. I mean, personally, I've lost T. Higgins in Dynasty. It wounds me to the core. But we might be able to take the person I lost him for later on. Oh, yeah, James Conner's already gone. My bad. So T. Higgins or Rojo?
I'd be about T. Higgins here. I think that what the Statman was saying about getting a later running back, there's players that I would consider as good as Chase Edmonds and Ronald Jones coming later, but T. Higgins, that could be a real wide receiver 1A situation going on at the Bengals. So
okay, so T. Higgins is we took T. Higgins anyway. Jerry Jeudy, Mike Gesicki, Chase Edmonds, Ronald Jones, Joe Burrow, Robert Gronkowski, Jarvis Landry, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, and now we are on the clock. And
let's talk about how bad Team 10's running back room is for a second.
Well, just having James Robinson. Okay, I would like to suggest that we go wide receiver. And we go for an upside wide receiver. There are 3 on the boards that I'd like to consider. Jalen Waddle as a punt, Laviska Shenault as a hype, or, and this is going to feel dirty, potential wide receiver 1 in New York or New Jersey, Corey Davis.
Oh, so dirty.
Yeah. I'm on the LaVisca bandwagon, to be honest.
Yeah, get me on that train.
Yeah, that's what I'm on.
Wide receiver 1.
Wide receiver.
I thought we were going to discuss it, but okay.
Wide receiver 2.
The wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville.
Wide receiver 2.
Wide receiver 1.
No, that's what I was hoping. But I'm just going to really quickly speed this up. So just for... Yeah, I know who we're going for. Jalen Waddle, Marquise Brown, Tom Brady, Corey Davis, Robbie Anderson, who would have also been quite nice, Tyler Boyd, Zach Moss, Rashad Bateman, Mike Davis, which is a shame because I would have quite liked to have Mike Davis as our 4th running back, Deshaun Watson, who we know isn't getting drafted because of those pesky hands, Debo Samuel, and then Trevor goes off the board. I would like to talk to you two.
I think this is a tough choice, this one.
Yeah, we have a debate, but I think for the sake of hype and for the sake of what this show has been about since the draft, I feel we have to plant our flag in Miguel Cattell.
Oui. But doesn't it break your heart that means you have to sacrifice Damian Harris for that?
Yeah, I mean,
that's acceptable.
The 2 of them, though, the one who's most likely to be RB1 in week 1 is Damian Harris.
Yeah.
And he could hold that for a season. The Pats could be good again. Which
I'm sorry, even though he's going to be running back 1, it concerns me that they have Cam Newton starting because that takes away all his value to start with. So you would only think Damian Harris is going to be great once we get Mac Jones.
He had some good games with Cam last year, not many.
Not good enough.
I imagine Zach Wilson, the moment someone yells at him to give him the ball and they're bigger than Zach Wilson, he's going to give them the fucking ball.
But the other one I would be looking at
Miguel Carter is not bigger than Zach Wilson, unfortunately.
I think he is in terms of weight.
No, I think he's actually weighs less as well.
Zach Wilson's a twig.
If we were
about to call him a twink.
If we were reasonably content with our running back room and just wanted to pick up a handcuff as our 4th, then I would start thinking about the quarterback and I'd be looking at Jalen Hurts as an option there as our sort of wild card quarterback. And then getting a quarterback later on. But I'm quite happy with Mickey.
Everybody else has got a quarterback apart from one other team. And there's one surefire best ball shot that I'd like to talk to you about later. So are we going to go Miguel Carter over Trey Sermon and Damian Harris?
Gives us the 4. Gives us 4 before the round 10, which is always a great...
Oh, that felt bad leaving Damian Harris on the board.
He may come back.
If he does, though, would we take him? That's because Curtis Samuel was looking pretty tasty.
He's come back.
Oh, my Lord.
Back.
If we did take him, we would not need to bother with another late round wide receiver. I think the 5 running backs, fuck it. Damian Harris, we'll get on the team.
We don't need them again. That's it. Let's smash the receivers now.
Well, we can smash receivers, and I also think now we're getting to the point. So just to let you know,
quarterback and tight ends now, don't we?
Yeah, and that's where I want to talk to you about somebody who is further down the page. I think we can wait one more round on quarterback, but let me pause the draft for a moment and just do a quick refresh of our team. So currently, we have just gone into the 11th round. We have Zeke, Clyde, David Montgomery, Miguel Gatta, and Damian Harris, who needs a nickname because I'm going to be talking about him constantly.
Can it be Rolf?
Oh no.
No.
No. No.
Can it be on Ford? Harris on Ford?
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh no. Can it be the Omen? It could be the Omen. He's Damien.
Oh, he's. I like that.
And it sounds sexy and mysterious. The Omen.
He's the anti-Michelle.
It reminds me of in FIFA when they couldn't pronounce your surname that you typed in on custom player mode, so you had to play. Or in wrestling, it'd be like, the Omen is coming to the ring.
Oh, Dr. J, the Juice in NBA 2K20. Wide receiver-wise, we've got Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins, and Laviska Shenault. We're looking pretty, we're looking pretty tasty. So we're going to have
than your team in best ball draft.
Yeah, why don't you do this in best ball draft, man? Yeah,
why didn't you need our help?
Because I wasn't picking here.
So there are. So you're right. So we could take. A handcuff in Tony Pollard.
No, we don't need a handcuff. We've got enough.
No, because we've got people in there. So there's a difference between redrafting.
Okay, Mooney.
that would be two Chicago Bears players. I'm not sure the villain can handle that.
No. Why don't we discuss someone like a T.Y. Hilton here?
Because I will be honest, my gut says the next 2 rounds we're going to take 2 quarterbacks. So best ball, I would recommend 3 quarterbacks. I would like to take a very risky pick, and then I would like to take a very sexy pick, and I'm not going to lean on the boring side. For everybody who wasn't in our best ball draft who's listening to this, I took 2 boring white quarterbacks back-to-back in Matt Stafford and Ryan Tannehill.
Hey, I got a couple of boring white guys too. I got Joe Burrow and someone else.
It is. So I think if Trey Lance gets the job, he could be phenomenal, but he might not have the job. So we would have to take somebody else. But it's like the Miguel Cater. It's something that if it pays off, lovely stuff. How are we feeling about that? A Trey Lance? Because there is Matt Ryan.
Who are you gonna? I don't like Matt Ryan this year.
No, neither do I. So I'm going to take. Okay, if we take Trey Lance here, and then I will explain to you on the next pick.
We're not even considering Darnell Mooney.
No, the Statman was, but I said that's 2 Bears, and you said no, thank you.
I do hate the Bears. I mean, it's your fault in the first place for going for David Montgomery. You know, you ruined your Mooney chances.
I love Mooney.
So I've taken Trey Lance, and then off the board afterwards, Todd Gurley, who apparently still plays for the Falcons but does not. Singletary, Mooney, Pollard, Ruggs, Kenny Gainwell, Matt Ryan, Zach Ertz, Rondell Moore, and Evan Ingram. And I would like to talk to you about. We could play a waiting game on the next running back, and we could on the next quarterback. I'd like to go. And then take an upside wide receiver. I mean, if we didn't get Damian Harris, this is where I'd be getting on board the Gus bus. Because I think that he's got a chance to do some goal line touchdown stealing. It's what he does. The villain
Jamal Williams is another.
Yeah, that's the villain took Jamal Williams in the
for the exact same reasons.
Yeah.
And for Mr. Concussion Swift, and then he's your starter. So,
we could take the wide receiver 1 at the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know I may be the only one who believes that statement.
Overhyped.
We could take the upside of Russell Gage, or
I love Russell Gage.
The wide receiver 1 of Nelson Aguilar.
No, he's actually the number 2.
Who's number 1?
Myers is considered the number 1 at the moment. I quite like Troutman as our tight end as well, but I'd like to think he might come back to us.
No, well, if next round there is somebody that I will insist on taking.
What, tight end?
No.
Okay.
But we would have to miss out.
If we're considering a tight end now, and you're considering Troutman, what about Austin Hooper?
No, I don't think. There's too many mouths to feed in the Browns.
And the Browns, you because of OBJ being back, you got the resurgent force that is Rashad Higgins.
Yeah, you've got
Njoku as
Jarvis.
well.
Yeah.
Well, and Joku doesn't do anything.
But you've also got Kareem Hunt out the backfield. Chubb can catch as well. There's too many mouths to feed. I don't want that.
How many quarterbacks are you thinking?
I'm thinking 3.
Because if we were to take Cousins here,
No.
be our steady, but I wouldn't necessarily. But if we were to take him, but I think I know who you're thinking in a couple of rounds' time.
One round, and then I've got someone that I'm going to insist on. So we could either take Troutman or we could take Russell Gage. That would be my 2. I mean, are we overlooking MJJ, by the way, in best ball? Because he's getting paid big bucks. He's the Corey Davis of the Jags, which is not.
I don't think we're overlooking Marvin Jones. I think, look, he's going to be the safe option for Trevor Lawrence. I think I would be Nelson Aguilar over Marvin Jones.
But what about Russell Gage?
I think our receiver room's looking fine, and I think they'll struggle to even do it.
We could take Troutman.
I think we need to fill a hole.
Troutman is in there. I've accepted it. So, Villain, you get 1 free pick in a bit. I get my next free pick. The reason I wasn't... Oh, you fucking arse.
Has he gone?
You want to Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, I was. That's the risk you take. That's why you do the mock drafts. We should have gone for Ryan Fitzpatrick there because he was going to be. There's someone else that I think we could take a little bit further down the line, but I would have preferred to take. See, where
it's in now though.
Yeah, this happens. I would have preferred to take Ryan Fitzpatrick and then see who else comes back to me because there is a tight end very far down the board that we might still pick up at this point. So that makes it interesting because it gets very murky very quickly.
I've got 3 I think we should discuss. 2 running backs and a wide receiver.
Villain, what's your pick, Villain? Troutman was the Statman's pick, so I'm going to hand it to you because I don't get Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I'm just going to.
Oh yeah, I thought he was going to come back to us. I must admit.
Yeah. So J.D. McKissick is going to get some work still off Antonio Gibson, I believe he did last year. He was actually very good for me on my dynasty team, filling a hole at running back, and he got a lot of work. Latavius Murray, if for some reason, because we still don't know for sure if Jameis is the starter, if it is Taysom Hill, Latavius Murray does better than Alvin Kamara. So he's quite a good one to have in there for those games. And then the other one is Terrace Marshall Jr., who I think could absolutely crush it at the Panthers this year out of the slot.
Yeah.
We could make him our rookie wide receiver, and the Statman's been snapping him up anywhere he can because he was so sad to not get him in Dynasty.
Yeah.
So I
nearly swung the bat there for getting him, didn't I? You nearly went for that trade.
Yeah, but I knew I liked Terrace Marshall,
So I think it'd be nice to have a Panther to back. So let's get Terrace Marshall on there.
Okay, let's get him on there.
We need a steady quarterback, don't we?
Well, because we're not going to get a steady quarterback, I'm going to make a suggestion. I suggest that we take 2 quarterbacks in the next 2 rounds. So just say off the board after us, we took Marshall, then it went McKissick, Philip Lindsay, Chubba Hubbard, Tavius Murray, Jalen Reagor, Tariq Cohen, Darrell Henderson, Tevin Coleman, and Gerald Everett. I would like to suggest we go for a Jones-Darnold combo in the next 2 rounds.
Oh, that's ugly.
Yeah, but best ball, Daniel Jones will have one of those games where he will run like the wind and might not fumble 8 times, and he'll go in. And Sam Darnold could do something. I mean, the other option is we do Cam Newton and Sam Darnold. But what I was saying is that we take 2 quarterbacks, one of them Sam Darnold. So Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson. If we got Ryan Fitzpatrick, I just wouldn't bother drafting another quarterback.
No. That's kind of tilted us a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's why we do these things. We've got Big Ben, but no, you could draft steady Jared Goff, but I'd rather not. I'd rather literally, because it's pump and dump as the villain kind of.
I said hit it and quit it.
Pump and dump. Daniel Jones seems like he could. I don't know. Carson Wentz could also be a bet, but that's the same bet as Trey Lance. Whereas I think Daniel Jones, we know he's the starter, and he might have those games that could win us.
I'd hate it. Hate that pick.
Well, we should have taken Ryan Fitzpatrick over Troutman, but that's why you do mock drafts. Jared Cook, Mattson, Le'Veon Bell, which won't happen in real life. Sony Michel, Carson Wentz, Gabe Davis, Mark Ingram, Paris Campbell, Salvin Ahmed, Javian Hawkins, Cole Kmet, Rashad Penny. Now, there is somebody I would like to talk about in terms of the tight ends, but I realised that I've kind of forced my QB views on you. I like the turkey. I like Anthony Ferguson. I think he is a good person to put into a best ball rotation. He's the last of the tight ends that I like at this stage because Gerald Everett's gone. I kind of have 3 tight ends that I quite like. It's up to you guys. I mean, we're in the murky. When you get to round 15 of a 12-person draft, it gets very dirty. But Anthony Ferguson, I feel like he could have some games.
Do you know what? If we take a tight end here, then I would say I would be interested in Jameis Winston later on.
Well, we can still get Sam Darnold if we get a tight end here.
Yeah.
He's the starter.
He's too average. Oh, Derek Carr could be a steady man for us.
Yeah, steady Dez.
Steady Derek.
I'm taking Anthony Ferguson and I'm removing myself from the quarterback conversation.
Let's just see who turns up when it comes around to us, if there's any left.
All of the quarterbacks are there. Zach Wilson, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, and Ben Roethlisberger was there. My personal pick would be Sam Darnold because I think his upside is tremendous. But then we've just got upside quarterbacks.
But the upside of Jameis Winston is the greatest quarterback in football.
We've got 3 people who might not be starters.
The downside of Jameis Winston is he could be the absolute worst quarterback in football. So, that's where you're at with Jameis.
Perfect for basketball, then.
The floor and ceiling are so high.
I would say yes if our other 2 quarterbacks were Trey Lance and Daniel Jones.
Exactly. We do need to have a starter. So we need to have a Derek Carr, a Zach Wilson, a Sam Darnold, or a Big Ben in this situation. I don't want Big Ben. There is no such thing as a big game from Big Ben. I know. I've owned him many, many years. I don't know if Sam Darnold's got big game in him as well. I think he's going to be a steady fella. I think Derek Carr is the one that has the big games in him and also has the weak games, but he's a guaranteed starter.
Oh, okay.
You make the call, but then I can't. Honestly, I can't decide.
Tim Tebow is. Yeah, I think your logic sounds. Derek Carr is.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
So, how badly the times shift, don't they? So after Derek Carr went, we had Anthony McFarlane, Rondell Stevenson, Keyshawn Vaughn, Justin Jackson, Jacoby Myers, Carlos Hyde, Zach Wilson, Pat Firmouth, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Ben Roethlisberger, Emmanuel Sanders, and now it's us again. Sam Darnold's still there, but we don't need any more.
They've taken our options away from us.
Yeah, I can't see the options. It's not.
Sorry. I was. There we go.
There we are. That's beautiful.
So we could go for another tight end. I know you guys are really high on Tim Tebow. Blake Jarwin. See if he gets a shot.
Jarwin, I do.
Oh, I love Blake Jarwin. Do we need another?
I'm quite interested in old Nico.
Yeah,
he can't catch.
There's a dart throw.
I've also seen I saw some lovely stuff from Van Jefferson last season.
Has he got that game in him? Yeah. And Denzel Mims is there. Smoky John Brown could be
Mims is sounding awful this year from the unhype that's coming out of the Jets. Struggling with the offense apparently.
Rashad Perryman.
No
thanks.
Yeah, I'm thinking Nico Collins here.
Are you? Yeah,
I would be Amari Rodgers, but that's taking the bet on the other Rodgers.
Yeah, on the other Rodgers.
Yeah. You know what? It's a mock draft. Let's see what it looks like. Do we feel good about having Nico Collins?
He's a rookie he's a rookie that's got a really good chance of being the wide receiver 1 by the end of the year. The issue is we don't know who is throwing to him.
So, It's
The
just
Army.
so ugly at this
The
point.
Army Brown. Well, Marquez has some big games every now and then, doesn't he?
Yeah,
you
but that
get
was
frustrated
before
with
Amari
MVS.
Rogers. Before Amari Rogers. So you've got Amari Rogers, Alan Lazard.
The Army Brown's
Darius
a big
Slayton.
threat, but quite light.
I'd rather have
Alan
Lazard.
Another one.
I'd
Alan
rather have
Lazard.
Lazard than MVS. Why has he fallen so much?
Don't know. Probably because of Rogers.
But MVS hasn't. Oh, it's horrible when you get to round 18. So we've got 3 more picks. I've got one person that I'm going to insist on a little bit later on.
There's one running back that might turn up. I quite like Williams, if he's still around. Oh, Darrington Evans is another one I quite like.
There's one that I think is Malcolm Brown outstrips them all. So I would suggest him as our last pick. I just think they brought Malcolm Brown in on a contract. They paid him, and he is a goal line back. He's the biggest back. He's the biggest back by about 16 kilos on the rest of the Miami backs. He will be the goal line back. He will piss off people at redraft. So you have to reap those yummy rewards.
Who are we picking here then? What's your shout on this one then?
I hate them all. So
I like Darby Brown because I think he's a deep threat that might.
26.
That's another rookie, and we just had Collins. I don't know whether you want him or not, or whether you want to go for.
I mean, Eric Ebron could do something, and Alan Lazard.
Or Dwayne Eskridge.
10 seconds. We've gone for Eskridge.
We went for Dwayne. Yeah. I think he's going to be the 3rd guy in Seattle, and I like it.
Cephas is gone.
Oh, interesting enough, Alan Lazard came back around. So are we happy with just having 2 tight ends?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm insisting on Alan Lazard, and I'm going to insist.
Score enough. I would love Damian Williams.
I would love Malcolm Brown here.
Oh,
Damian Williams is gone. Devontae Booker's gone. So there are, I think, 3.
Evans went as well.
So this is the final kind of dart throw that we have. So after we took Alan Lazard, Hayden Hurst, Wallace, Herden, Mo Ali Cox, Knox, Justin Reynolds, Darrington Evans, N'Keal Harry, Damian Williams, Devontae Booker. So I think we've got a couple of people that are worth talking about. One I can't pronounce.
Love. L-O-V-E.
No, Olamide Zacharias. He's one person that I'd be
Zacchaeus.
Yep, him. It's him, Malcolm Brown.
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that could happen there, but you just think you've got Woods, you've got so many mouths to feed, but it's just who's going to have one big game that could win your week. I would say Malcolm Brown. I don't know what you two want to say on this. As a final pick, just gives us one more running back that could potentially do something if everyone else busts.
Click on just running backs.
No interest in Malcolm Brown, but if that's what you want to go with.
Click on just running backs. Let's have a look.
McKinnon at Kansas City. Wayne
we can have the handcuff of Ty Johnson.
No. No handcuffs in best ball. Wide receiver wise, I mean, Zacharias is interesting as a punt. Interesting.
He's not even a person. This person you're talking about doesn't exist.
Interesting to get the hype from, to share some hype on. Who was the chap that our Chargers friend was telling us about? Who we should keep an eye out for? I've forgotten his name. Has he already been taken?
What, Palmer?
No, he played last year.
Tyron Johnson.
Tyron Johnson. How far down is he? Because that's what you're looking for. Your final pick in best ball is you're taking a swing at a player who you think can do something. And Tyron Johnson is 462 on the board. He's only projected through Sleeper to do 75 points. But occasionally you get an inside nudge from a fan. And if you look at his news, can I look at news without selecting him? Johnson could be the wide receiver 3. And Mike Williams will most likely get injured at some point. He's got big playability. he only got 50 in terms of PPR last year. He only got 79 points. But if you look at his breakdown on a weekly basis, 12-point game, 15-point game, 17-point game. There's flashes.
Have a look at that wide receiver room on the right-hand side. That depth chart. It gets real murky after Keenan Allen. Yes, Mike Williams. Okay, and then after that, even that tight end room is.
Oh, I still love Donald Parham this year. Just so you know, guys, I think he's going to potentially come out and do something. Who else have we got that's potentially we're finishing off. We shouldn't be spending so much time on this, but I just want to look at the man whose name I can't pronounce. So apologies if he's listening.
Yes.
Role likely to grow.
You got people like Tim Patrick at the Broncos as well. KJ Hamler.
Look at that 20-point game.
Guys, do you know who else is still on the board?
Who?
Hunter Renfro.
Yeah.
What is as a Raiders fan? What is the hype around?
Renfro? He's just a slot receiver. He's a slot receiver, so he's never going to put.
He's your Beasley. He's your Amendola. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't expect him to put. He's probably a decent redraft, but I wouldn't. I'm
a big fan of Anthony Schwartz, but I know that's a punt. I mean, that's it. You're taking a punt, so you have to. At this stage, the best advice I can give anyone who's listening, anyone who's looking at the end of their best ball, is draft someone you like, because then you get that added value of somebody going, oh, you know what, I really like Paul Cow. I really like Lynn Bowden Jr. I'm just going to support. I love Rashard Higgins. I love James Washington. James Washington.
To be fair, we do love Rashard Higgins, man.
I thought James Washington was a thing. Oh, yeah, because I drafted him for a couple of games last year and in the end didn't show up. Fuck that guy. KJ.
Donovan's Peoples-Jones, because he is a man of the people.
Yeah,
he's got peoples in his name.
Look at that. Key role incoming.
No, that's a question.
That's
not a statement.
Number two.
Coach Brian Flores has asked everyone, is there a key role coming?
He just seems like
he is.
I told you, he's like a good 10 kilos heavier than anyone else.
Oh, no. It's awful.
Jeff Wilson, Kerryon Johnson in Philly. Oh, it's horrible. The 20th round of any draft is awful.
Too many rounds.
Don't wait too long on a tight end. Oh, we could take Dan Arnold.
Oh, final God, pick. It's Dan. I'm telling you, it's Dan Arnold season, man.
Yeah, final pick. We're taking Dan Arnold because it won. This is a mock draft. Who cares? But we've got a third. And this is what I will say in best ball. Like in redraft, I would never have 3 tight ends. I would never have 3 quarterbacks. I'll be honest. I feel a bit iffy having 2 at any point sometimes. But you could, out of Troutman, Ferkser, and Dan Arnold, one of them each week will be the guy who gets a touchdown and 6 receptions. Same with the quarterbacks. Trey Lance when he starts, Daniel Jones, and then Derek Carr. If Daniel Jones and Trey Lance are playing, they'll probably outscore Carr quite significantly because of their legs. But if they fall apart, maybe that's the week where Derek Carr gets 2 deep bombs to Brian Edwards or anyone like that. So
the lesson from this, though, is that we can see from round 11, was it 11? No, 12 and 13. If we just done it back to front and taken Fitzpatrick in the 12th, Troutman in the 13th, we probably would have had a perfect draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that's the one thing about the whole draft. We had some really good luck at the beginning, but I was devastated to lose out on Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, we screwed that one up. We screwed the pooch.
He may be a topic in some of our later shows, but let's wrap up our best ball mock draft team. Ezekiel Elliott, Stephon Diggs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, David Montgomery, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins, and Laviska Shenault all came to us in rounds 1 to 8. That's mighty tasty. Then we started, we got even more lucky. Round 9, Miguel Carter, and then Damien Harris fell back to us, someone that myself and the Statman are very high on.
The Omen.
The Omen.
That's going to become a thing now.
We took our first quarterback we took a risk on Trey Lance, hoping to get someone safer later on. Then we took Troutman, missed out on Ryan Fitzpatrick, but we did get Terrace Marshall. Then we've gone for Daniel Jones, Anthony the Turkey Ferkser, David Carr. No, Derek Carr. No, it's not David.
I would rather have David Carr, just so we're clear.
Nico Collins. Then a couple of rookies in Nico Collins and Dwayne Eskridge. I think Dwayne Eskridge, by the way, as a best ball draft, is actually a really good person because he's one of those Swiss Army knife players. You'll get something out of him. Alan Lazard, who is ludicrous to see Alan Lazard in the 19th round. And then just for shits and giggles, we've taken Dan Arnold, the Panthers tight end.
I've got another nickname there. Why don't we start calling Troutman Billy the Bass?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, man.
Can we lock this team and keep it, and then we'll log the points as they go through the year?
Is that a thing that's possible?
I've
screenshotted it. I guess we'll just have to look each week.
Well, it'll also be on.
See how they've done. Yeah,
it'll be like old school. It'll be like old school, like having the newspaper out to check your fantasy points at the end of the week.
Yeah. Oh. See if we won the lottery with that team. See who we can beat from week to week.
Go and cash it in. They're like, this means nothing.
But I would, just on a side note, I would fully recommend to anybody who's into fantasy football to go do Best Ball. It's as I keep referring to it, it's a mock draft that counts. And it's a little bit fun. You can have multiple leagues. In the States, it's a big money market. I have never won a best ball league in my life because the way that I win championships, and I think the way the Statman wins a championship and the way the villain doesn't, is that you trade...
I have a trophy.
Yeah, there we go. We very much win by staying active, but it's interesting to see how the life goes with best ball because there's nothing... Drafting's the most fun.
Is this the reason that there's no money on our best ball league? Is because you're not going to win?
No, I think maybe.
It's your gambling problem. It's your gambling problem.
Yeah, maybe next year if we do it again. But it's a bit of fun. Get your friends together. Maybe do it with your redraft league. It's a chance to reconnect over the summer. It was great seeing the lads who could make it. Not Kickmaster Brown Bear did not make it onto the call, but I got a.
Turns out he was on a table.
I got a fantastic WhatsApp call from him that I picked up, and it was just him and a harem of women. And he just kept showing me these women that he was with and then go, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. I was like, what time is it there? 2:00 in the morning. Okay, I fully appreciate that you are this drunk at 2 a.m. So you definitely started earlier. Then he was the Chinese talisman of England not bringing it home. Love that man.
On a table singing Vindaloo. What a true patriot.
I absolutely love Kickmaster Brown Bear. But yeah, I think next year it's something I'd love to do more of this. And I was going to say, hopefully the mock draft show has been useful to people. But I would say the best thing about it is it gives you a reason to engage with the people in your league that, when it's the off season and you can take some punts on people. I'll be fucked if I'm drafting Troutman and Trey Lance in redraft, but I will do it over here. That is for sure. And I can't find the final thing. So, that's all we have time for today, guys.
I hate it.
Professionalness is just out of the world.
So hopefully you enjoyed the mock draft episode. It's getting your juices flowing for the fantasy football season.
Here it comes.
As of the end of this month, we're going to be doing, so in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be doing our drafting 101. I don't know why you choose to listen to us after this fiasco, but drafting 101 episode was really popular last year, get you in the mood for season. And then in August, it's our positional ranking shows. Guess who I'm going to be talking about when we talk about quarterbacks?
DJ Shark, probably.
Yeah, DJ Shark. That was going to be my guess.
But if you liked what you heard, give us a subscribe on your podcast service of a choice, and a review and a star would be lovely. Or a couple of stars, maybe even 5 would be lovely. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at TFAFP and on Instagram at that FAF podcast. Make sure to head to the website, check out the Statman's rankings, see how they line with this. Big shout out to mine and the Villains boy, Pete Alonso, winning the home run derby. That's why I'm wearing my Mets jersey. But for now, it's a big old cheerio for myself, from the Statman.
Cheerio.
And from the Fantasy Villain.
Cheerio, guys. Woo!
Have a good one. And we are literally the last month without any football. It's amazing.